Have you ever pondered what sets European and American cultures apart? From the bustling streets of New York to the historic avenues of Rome, from the snowy peaks of the Rocky Mountains to the sun-kissed beaches of the Mediterranean, the world is a rich tapestry of diverse cultures. Two regions that often find themselves on opposite ends of the cultural spectrum are Europe and America. Though united by shared history, these two continents are distinct in many ways, displaying fascinating contrasts and comparisons that extend far beyond their geographical separation. One might wonder, what are the factors that make these cultures so distinct? To answer this, we will journey through the labyrinth of lifestyle differences, delve into the depths of contrasting values, and explore the subtleties of social norms that set these cultures apart. When we speak of lifestyle, we delve into the rhythm of daily life, the pace at which people live, work, and play. It's about the cities that never sleep, against the backdrop of leisurely afternoon siestas. Values, on the other hand, are the bedrock of a culture. They shape perceptions, influence behaviors, and define what's important. From individualism to collectivism, from freedom to solidarity, values are the unseen threads that weave the cultural fabric together. And then there are social norms, the unwritten rules of behavior that govern interactions. These range from the simple act of greeting, the etiquette of dining, to the complex dynamics of personal space and communication styles. But this is just the tip of the iceberg. As we delve deeper, we'll discover that culture isn't confined to these broad categories. It permeates every facet of life, from food to education, from art to politics. Our journey isn't about highlighting one culture as superior to the other. Rather, it's about understanding, appreciating, and celebrating the diversity that makes our world so wonderfully complex and vibrant. So buckle up for an intriguing exploration of the cultural landscapes of Europe and America. Join us as we delve into these fascinating contrasts and comparisons. First, consider the pace of life. Do you think it's the same on both sides of the Atlantic? Let's delve into a tale of two lifestyles. Picture this. You're in the heart of Europe, where life often takes on a slower, more relaxed rhythm. The emphasis is on living in the moment, relishing the present. Cities hum with a laid-back vibe, where leisurely lunches and afternoon siestas are more than just a luxury, they're a way of life. It's not uncommon to see shops closing their doors for a few hours in the afternoon, only to reopen in the evening, a testament to the continent's dedication to work-life balance. Now, let's hop across the pond to the United States. The energy is palpably different, brimming with a sense of urgency and dynamism. The American dream, the notion that anyone can achieve success through hard work, fuels a fast-paced lifestyle that often blurs the lines between work and leisure. The always-on culture is a stark contrast to Europe's work-to-live ethos. Leisure activities, too, reflect these differing attitudes. Europeans often favor social activities that emphasize relaxation and connection, such as long dinners with friends or leisurely strolls in the park. Americans, on the other hand, lean towards hobbies that are action-packed and high energy, mirroring their live-to-work mentality. But it's not just about the hustle and bustle. The American spirit of innovation and entrepreneurship is also reflected in their leisure activities. Think of Silicon Valley's hackathons or New York's dynamic art scene. This is a culture that thrives on creativity, novelty, and the thrill of the new. In contrast, Europe's rich history and traditions are reflected in its leisure activities. Whether it's savoring a centuries-old wine in France or attending a classical music concert in Vienna, leisure time in Europe is often a nod to its storied past. So, what's the takeaway? Well, neither lifestyle is inherently better or worse, they're just different. And these differences make our world a fascinating place to explore. Clearly, the pace of life varies greatly across the pond. Next, let's explore the values held dear in these regions. Are they as similar as one might think? The values of a society often serve as a mirror reflecting the beliefs, attitudes, and priorities of its people. In comparing American and European cultures, we find distinct differences that are as intriguing as they are illuminating. Firstly, we encounter the spectrum of individualism versus collectivism. On one end, American culture tends to celebrate the individual. It champions self-reliance, personal freedom, and the pursuit of one's dreams, often embodied in the iconic narrative of the American dream. It's a society where the self-made individual is often revered, and where success is largely seen as a result of personal effort. Now let's cross the Atlantic and land in Europe. Here, there's a stronger emphasis on the community and collective responsibility. From the cozy Danish concept of hygge, promoting comfort and togetherness, to the Italian la famiglia, where family is the cornerstone of society, European cultures often prioritize the collective over the individual. Next, we find ourselves at the intersection of materialism and sustainability. In America, the value of material success is often linked to the idea of prosperity and achievement. This isn't to say that Americans are not concerned with sustainability, but rather that the drive for material success can sometimes overshadow it. On the other hand, sustainability is a value deeply rooted in many European cultures. From the windmills of the Netherlands to Germany's eco-friendly houses, the commitment to a sustainable future is tangible. It's a commitment that extends beyond the environment into sustainable living and social welfare. In essence, while both American and European societies value freedom, prosperity, and the welfare of their people, the way these values are prioritized and expressed can differ greatly. It's a fascinating study of contrasts and similarities, offering a richer understanding of these diverse cultures. So, values, it seems, paint a vivid picture of our cultural differences. Now, consider the unspoken rules of society. How do they contrast across the Atlantic? Diving into the realm of social norms and etiquette, let's first examine personal space. In Europe, particularly in southern and eastern regions, it's common to greet each other with kisses on the cheek, even among acquaintances. However, in the United States, such physical contact is often reserved for close friends and family. Americans typically prefer more personal space, and a handshake is the standard greeting. Next, let's look at punctuality. In many parts of Europe, such as Spain and Italy, a relaxed approach to time often prevails. Being a few minutes late is not seen as a major faux pas. However, in Northern Europe, like Germany and Switzerland, punctuality is highly valued, mirroring the American emphasis on being on time. Now consider social interactions. In the United States, small talk is a social lubricant, often used to fill silences and establish a friendly rapport. Americans tend to be quite open and may strike up conversations with strangers. On the other hand, Europeans, particularly the British and the Scandinavians, are often seen as more reserved. They usually value deeper, more meaningful conversations over casual chit-chat. Also, note the dining etiquette. In Europe, it's common to keep your hands on the table, but not your elbows. While in the United States, it's customary to keep your hands in your lap when not using utensils. And let's not forget the continental way of holding cutlery, quite different from the American style. Finally, tipping. In the United States, tipping is practically mandatory given the lower base pay of service workers. In Europe, however, service charge is often included in the bill, and additional tipping is not as common or generous. So you see, these invisible guidelines of conduct, from greetings to dining to tipping, vary significantly across cultures. They subtly shape our interactions and are a testament to the rich diversity of human societies. Indeed, even the unspoken rules of society highlight our cultural contrasts. Ever thought about how our meals speak volumes about our cultures? Let's take a culinary journey to explore the language of food in Europe and America. In Europe, food is not just about sustenance, it's a social affair, a ritual. Meals are often long, leisurely affairs, savored with friends and family. In southern Europe, for instance, it's not uncommon for lunch to stretch into the afternoon, followed by a siesta. This contrasts with the American fast-paced lifestyle, where meals are often quick, on-the-go affairs, squeezed in between work and other commitments. Portion sizes also tell a story. In America, the land of plenty, meals are often served in generous portions, a nod to the country's abundance. In Europe, on the other hand, portions are more modest, reflecting a focus on quality over quantity. It's not about how much you eat, but the richness of the flavors and the culinary experience. The social aspects of dining are also quite different. In Europe, meals are communal events, a time to connect and share stories. In America, meals can be more individualistic, with many people often eating alone or on the go. This reflects the American emphasis on individuality and independence. And let's not forget about the importance of local produce. In Europe, there's a strong emphasis on using fresh local ingredients, which often dictate the dishes of the day. This is a nod to the continent's agricultural heritage and the importance of seasonality. In America, the focus is more on convenience and variety, with supermarkets stocked with a wide array of foods from around the globe, reflecting the country's melting pot of cultures. So, whether it's a leisurely lunch in Spain, a small but richly flavored meal in France, a hearty portion in America, or the importance of local produce in Italy, food culture is a fascinating lens through which we can explore cultural differences. It's clear that our plates too tell tales of our cultural differences. How about education? Does the quest for knowledge look the same on both continents? Let's dive deep into this fascinating topic. In Europe, education is largely seen as a right, with many countries offering free or heavily subsidized tertiary education. This reflects a societal belief that knowledge should be accessible to all, regardless of socioeconomic status. The focus tends to be on theoretical understanding and critical thinking, encouraging students to question, explore, and understand the world around them. In contrast, the American education system, while diverse and multifaceted, operates a bit differently. It's often seen as an investment or a stepping stone to a prosperous career. There's a stronger emphasis on practical skills and vocational training, equipping students with the tools they need to succeed in the job market. The cost of tertiary education can be quite significant, reinforcing the notion of education as an investment. Now let's talk about attitudes towards learning. Both Europeans and Americans value education and the pursuit of knowledge, but the approach and emphasis can differ. In Europe, there's a strong emphasis on lifelong learning and intellectual curiosity. Education is not just about preparing for a job, it's about enriching one's life and understanding the world. On the other hand, in America, education is often seen as a path to personal success and upward mobility. There's a strong emphasis on achievement, with a focus on grades, test scores, and prestigious college admissions. This often fosters a competitive environment, with students striving to outperform their peers. However, it's important to note that these are generalizations, and there are exceptions in both contexts. Each individual's educational journey is unique and influenced by a myriad of factors, including personal ambition, family expectations, societal pressures, and economic conditions. Education, it appears, is yet another lens through which we can view our cultural disparities. Let's turn our attention to the arts. How do Europe and America dance to different tunes? When it comes to the realm of arts, music, and entertainment, both continents have a rich tapestry of cultural expressions, each with distinctive flavors and styles. In Europe, the arts are steeped in history and tradition, a testament to centuries of civilization. Classical music, opera, ballet, these are the realms where Europe truly shines, echoing its historical grandeur. Let's not forget the Renaissance art that adorns the walls of the continent's esteemed museums, a testament to a time when Europe was the cradle of artistic innovation. On the other hand, America's relative youth as a nation has given rise to an entirely different artistic spirit. Rooted in the diverse cultures of its people, it's a melting pot of creativity. Jazz, blues, rock and roll, country, and hip-hop. These are genres that America has birthed and shared with the world. The American film industry, epitomized by Hollywood, also stands as a global powerhouse, influencing pop culture far beyond its borders. The cultural importance of art, music, and entertainment cannot be understated in either continent. In Europe, traditional art forms are revered, preserved, and often state-funded, reflecting the deep-rooted respect for heritage. America, meanwhile, thrives on innovation and the constant reinvention of its entertainment industry, reflecting its value for individualism and freedom of expression. Yet, the role of tradition varies significantly. Europe's arts scene is often seen as a custodian of its rich past, safeguarding the old while cautiously embracing the new. Contrast this with America, where the arts are dynamic, constantly evolving, and often riding the wave of the latest trends. So whether it's the timeless strains of a Beethoven symphony resonating through a Viennese concert hall, or the electrifying beats of a hip-hop track reverberating through a New York cityscape, it's clear that Europe and America each have their unique rhythm. Artistic expression, too, reveals key differences in our cultures. Lastly, let's navigate the complex waters of politics. How do political landscapes vary across the Atlantic? In the grand scheme of things, the political systems of Europe and America are rooted in democracy. However, the ways in which this democracy manifests itself varies greatly on either side of the Atlantic. European politics is characterized by a wide array of ideologies, from the far left to the far right, and many shades in between. This is reflected in the multi-party system prevalent in most European countries. The United Kingdom, Germany, France, and others have numerous parties that represent a broad spectrum of political ideologies. This multi-party system promotes a culture of negotiation and coalition building, as parties often have to work together to form a government. Conversely, the American political landscape is dominated by a two-party system, the Democrats and the Republicans. The ideologies of these two parties have, over the decades, defined the contours of American politics. While there are other parties, they often struggle to make a significant impact on the national stage. This binary choice has its own set of implications, leading to a more polarized political environment. Moreover, the role of the head of state differs as well. In America, the president wears two hats, the head of state and the head of government. In contrast, many European nations separate these roles, with a non-partisan figurehead as the head of state, like Queen Elizabeth of the UK, and the head of government being the leader of the ruling political party, like the Prime Minister. Furthermore, the attitude towards government intervention in the economy also differs. Many European countries lean towards social democracy, promoting the welfare state and social equity. In contrast, America has traditionally been more inclined towards laissez-faire economics, with an emphasis on free markets and limited government intervention. These differences in political systems and ideologies are not set in stone. They evolve over time, influenced by historical, social, and economic factors. However, they do provide a fascinating insight into the cultural nuances that define Europe and America. Even in politics, the cultural divide between Europe and America is evident. So, what have we learned from our journey across cultures? Well, we've delved into the heart of two distinct lifestyles, exploring the unique characteristics that define both European and American cultures. We've seen how the bustling, fast-paced American way of life contrasts with the more laid-back and leisurely European approach to living. In our quest to understand what matters most, we've discovered that while Americans tend to value individualism, Europeans often place a higher importance on community and social welfare. This fundamental difference in values permeates many aspects of life, from social norms and etiquette to politics and governance. We've also navigated the complex language of food, a universal language that speaks volumes about our cultural identities. While Americans love their convenience and fast food culture, Europeans are known for their long, slow meals that are as much about socializing as they are about eating. Our exploration of education and the pursuit of knowledge revealed stark differences too. With Americans focusing more on practical skills and Europeans leaning towards a broad, theoretical education, we see how different societies prepare their young for the world. The vibrant world of art, music, and entertainment gave us a glimpse into the soul of these cultures. While American pop culture dominates globally, European art and music hold a rich tapestry of history and tradition. Our journey culminated in the realm of politics and governance, where we saw the contrast between America's two-party system and Europe's multi-party democracies. This difference reflects their distinct attitudes towards representation and diversity in politics. In summary, our exploration has revealed that while European and American cultures have their unique quirks and characteristics, they also share a common thread of humanity. It's in embracing these differences that we truly appreciate the diversity of our world. Though we may be different in many ways, it's these differences that make our world diverse and interesting. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep embracing our world's wonderful cultural diversity.